This is the recording for chapter 17. We're going to talk about political action in nursing. We kind of talked a little bit about that when Senator Stewart came on the call. He talked a little bit about politics. So again, we know politics is basically the influencing, um, the process of influencing allocation of scarce resources. He talked a lot about, different bills that about to be presented to the legislator. Also, politics enable us to be smarter. Um, Also, give us an opportunity to make arguments about power to improve uh, care that is provided to the patient. Also, politics, we as nurses can be advocates for nurses, and also not just for the patient, but for nurses as well. Better pay, better nurse patient ratio. Also, political skills enable us to identify the needed resource again, gain access to those resources, and then overcome obstacles. Like I said, example of that would be like overstaffing. What are the skills that you think make up a nurse political, make a nurse politically savvy? Of course, we have to be able to analyze the issue, know what the issue is, and also we also have to bring something to the table. So what are some resolutions in clear and concise terms so those senators and legislators can understand, but particularly those that do not have any medical knowledge. Also, you must be able to participate in a constructive manner. Okay. Uh, Also, we have to view others' opinions as well. Voice your opinion, but also we have to view others' opinions as well. And again, analyze and use our power basic, based on the information, based on the issue rather. We're able to analyze the issues and use our power basis, and that will be our knowledge as a nurse, those skills, and understanding the cause and effect. Okay. What is power? Where does it come from? These are just different levels, law 1 through 5, and I'm not going to really horn in on that. Uh, Another way we look at power is reward, and where did we get it from? The strongest one, of course, is the reward is the strongest source of power. And the best example of that would be giving money and also giving endorsement as well. So reward power, cohesive power. That's where we punish decision makers for going against wishes of the organization. And this is where a client people are removed from office because they didn't really they didn't do what the constituents voted them in to do. So they use their cohesive power to like I said, get them out of office. Legitimate power. This is where we influence that comes from come with the roles and position. And also again, so we have that power to be in a position, we use our position and our role. That's legitimate power. Referent power or mentor power. It's kind of like rub off or influence people. And so again, this is where we encourage nurses to become join different coalitions. Okay. Another way to look at power is expert or informational power. This is the weakest base here. Nurses um, must know about healthcare and nursing in order to have that power, So this is used mostly by nurses, but it's the weakest of the power base of all. That expert, they don't want to hear from experts, so that's why we lobby, we advocate, because people in position making decisions, making the law, they don't want to know, they don't want to hear from the experts, which would be your medical people. So we have to network among colleagues to build coalitions, to pool our resources together, work in a way. We have to connect, build networks, I will also reciprocate for with your resources. Okay, so we have to build a strong network base. Building coalition, I kind of talked about that. This is where organization and individuals come together. They show a common interest, based on a single issue. And again, like I said, nurses went to the Capitol to talk about that nurse-patient ratio was one of the big things. Also, selection of coalition partners should strengthen your your cause or organization. So again, when you talk about issues that are going on, coming together, building coalitions should strengthen your case, your cause, I'm sorry, and then also the organization as well. So building coalition with people, organization is more powerful than you are. So you can't do it alone. You have to network and work with other groups, other people. So you think you can work by yourself? You can't. You have to build coalition. So you may want to think about where you want to be active if you want to, whether it's in the school, the hospital, patient contacts, professional organization, or campaign, political campaign. But however, um, we have to be a coalition and work together because, like I said, if we want to change, we cannot make that change solo. Politics is not perfect, a perfect art or science. If you're unwilling to compromise or make sacrifices, then it may not be for you. So again, when changes that happen overnight, they take small, happen over, a period of time. Take small steps. Sometimes if you're going to be a politician, you can't promise something. That's because things don't happen overnight. So you must be realize the full implications. We have to compromise. So being on the school board, there are things that I would like to change overnight, and I thought I could until I actually got on the board and knew the roles and responsibilities of the board. So again, if you thinking about joining an organization, make sure you know what the roles and responsibilities are, because there may be some things that you think you can change, but based on your role, you may not be able to do so. So again, how do you go about participating in the election process? Get involved, know your candidates, and that's what um, Senator Stewart, he came and did a presentation. Again, know who your representatives are. Sometimes you can volunteer to help candidates understand healthcare issues. So again, if there are issues that you know that's pressing to you, know who your constituent, your candidates are, and again, you may be able to help them to know more about the issue at hand. So draft your own position on healthcare. Be cautious of the political bug. You don't want to get out there, like I said, know what you're talking about. And again, you can be an advocate. Political Action Committee, again, what is it? It's basically a mechanism by which individuals can pool their resources together. You come together collectively, and as I said, collectively, to support a candidate. So again, you may be, there's a candidate that you've heard his position, her position. So you gonna get a group of people to come together, and but that committee will help support that candidate. And so you're like the ANA is a National Political Action Committee. Also, there are different PACs at your state level as well. So know if you would like to get involved. Know who those um, organizations are with at your state level. There's also a American Nurse Association endorsement handbook, which is focused on they endorse support candidates for public office. Oh, there's no legislative activity. They do not lobby elected officials. It's not dirty. They don't buy a candidate. They only address healthcare concerns. So they evaluate those candidates on a nursing healthcare concern issue only. So they don't pay or anything like that. They just educate them and evaluate their knowledge about healthcare. After getting them elected, then what? Then again, we can lobby, attempt to influence or sway a public official to take a desired action. That's a lobbying. So again, you're going to, again, like I said, you need to assess that candidate knowledge about the issue, educate them. You can lobby face to face, in writing, fax, email, texting, telephone calls, telegrams. So be sure that they can reach you if they need to contact you. If you're gonna send them an email, you can email them or leave them your business card. But again, when a lot of times, nurses do write their legislators, okay, about controversial political issues affecting nurses. So to ensure that healthcare consumers have access to nursing services provided by nurses, meeting consistent standards regardless of where the consumer lives. This is what we call uniform core licensure requirement. So again, these are some controversial issues affecting nurses. Also, multi-state licensure compact states involved in interstate compact. Y'all know what that means. They agree to recognize you when you move to going back home or wherever that you if you've taken the boards here or if you want to travel, so that they recognize those licensures issued by another state. So again, however, although you do have those compact licenses, say you've got license in Alabama, you're going to have to comply with the license, the laws or the requirements in California or wherever you're going to be working. So again, the goal here, and then again, these are some little issues that affect the nurses. You got to know and comply with those practice standards in each state. And again, it sounds like a lot, but again, that's where you have to know that nursery, where to locate, where to find that Nurse Practice Act in that given state. Nurses and collective bargaining, points of debate among nurses. This is where we talk about the debate. You got to come up with your topic. Don't forget that. We're going to be debating some issues, some pros. We're going to be looking at the cons. A tool to we're trying to force positive changes in the practice setting, and then some cons. What about some written contracts may restrict freedom, flexibility, and professional judgment? So again, what are some pros and cons about issues that are going to be impacting nurses? Equal pay for work, a comparable value of worth. Again, this is something that nurses could be lobbying for. So jobs within an organization are equal in value, ought to be compensated equally, regardless of where the work content, of those jobs are similar. So again, looking at the marketing price, meaning that you're going to compare. Now, what has happened when um, hospitals or organizations do pay raises? Sometimes they'll look at the marketing price. They're looking at their competitors. So um, they try to compete with each other, paying more. They may have more benefits and things like that. So know what your worth is. Safe staffing. Like I said, we talked about that already. ANA launched a campaign on this issue. And so again, the Board of Nursing made some changes. And that doesn't mean that the organization complied with it, but based on the Board of Nursing, Alabama Board of Nursing, based on um, the change that they made, um, they looking at the acuity of the patient and also they're judging and gauging the staffing ratio, and then also where the area of practice. Say for instance, in the intensive care unit, the nurse patient ratio is like 2 to 1. And then it may be 1-on-1 depending on how severe. So we always look at the acuity, how sick that client is. So staffing ratio needs to be required by the legislation, but the number itself must set at the unit level, again, rather than the terms of legislation. So legislators don't really know the impact. They don't really know about acuity of patients. So again, often we are the ones making that decision in the patient care. So again, like I said, Alabama Board of Nurses did take a stance on it. So again, just think about this. What do you think is the most political issue facing nursing at this time? Is it staffing? Is it protection from violence in the workplace? Or is it issues with collective bargaining, licensure issues? Also, it's a preventing workplace injury. Now, again, there are policies that organization will have about workplace injury. So, and if they're injured, if you're injured on the job, if you don't report it, guess what? It is like it's been done, not like it has happened. So again, do if you've injured, don't wait 2 or 3 days or 2 or 3 weeks and say I got hurt on last week or whatever. Make sure you report it immediately because workman compensation will not pay if you do not report it in a timely manner. Always, if you can, have a witness again and make again document because you can lose compensation if you don't report workplace injury in a timely manner. And that ends the lecture for this content.